YouTube channel. So today I want to talk about creativity. In this age, everybody's saying I'm creative. TPC will always call back to talk about something that is trending. Well, most of the things that are trending that catches our interest. When we talk about creativity, what do we mean? I like to define creativity as the ability to use imagination or original ideas to create something. The ability to use your imagination or original ideas to create something. And don't forget, we are going to talk about creativity from the biblical perspective because, well, we are Christians and we need to know what creativity is from the biblical perspective. Now, if we want to talk about creativity, we need to go back to the origin of creativity, where it all began. Yes, the creativity that you are seeing today, the creative world and everything, it all stems from one place. I know that I said the world we see today demonstrates God's creativity, while His word interprets it. So we're going to be looking at something from the scripture. We all know Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2 is the account of the creation. And it's talk about how God creatively brought the world to being, right? So Genesis chapter 1, let's read together. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good. If you read down, I don't want us to spend all the time reading the scripture, but you can take your time and read Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2. Alright? Genesis 1 is about creation. Creation ex nihilo, meaning that the creation out of nothing. So the world was framed out of nothing. God created the world out of nothing. The world came to place, the world came to be out of nothing. And then if you see the creation, you will see that the word created actually did not appear as much as we thought it did. The word created actually appeared 3 times in the whole chapter 1 where the narration of the creation happened. It appeared in verse 1. Let's read it. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And then the next place you see the word you created being used is in verse 21 when God created all animals. Verse 21, let's read it together. It says, "So God created great sea creatures and every living thing that moves with which the waters abounded, and according to their kind, and every winged bird, everything according to their kind, and God saw that it was good." If you read between verse 1 to verse 20, you will not see the word created there. It was more of, and He said, "Let there be," and He saw it was good. Then the next place you see it is in 27, when God created the special being called mankind. Let's read it. Verse 27 says, "God created man in His own image. In the image of God, He created him, male and female. He created them." So God created the heavens and the earth. He created animal life, and He created man. Every other thing, something happened. He brought them by spoken words. So every other thing came through creative springs. Now, there's something God was doing in between Genesis 1 verse 2 to 20 and between 21 to 27. I'm going to group them under 5 different numbers. The first one is organizing, right? In creativity, there's something called organizing, which we see from God when He was creating the earth. In verse 2, we see that the created earth was still formless, which follows from verse 3 to 19. In day 1 to 3, right, is a lot of God was separating, God was organizing. God said, "Let there be light." He separated the firmament from the waters. He said the water should be up in the firmament, there should be water under this thing because the ground to spring up. So God was organizing a formless earth. God was organizing a formless earth, which brings me to say that the very first step in creativity is to bring organization to your thoughts. Before organization came in, you see that in verse 2, He said that the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the water. So after God created heaven and earth, He was thinking, hovering. Another word for hovering was, hovering, it has to do with thinking deep, looking around, taking critical account of what you have available so that you will know the next thing to do. So his spirit, first of all, took account of what was available on the earth. He hovered around, he thought, he planned, right? He brooded over the face of the deep. And then he said, in this place there can be light. In this place there can be this. So before the organization came in, there was the strategic planning. His spirit hovered around the face of the deep. There was the strategic planning. And then after the strategic planning, you see, he came with organization. He was separating, let the water be in this place. I like to think of it that in verse 2, he was planning a blueprint of what should be here, what should be in this part of the earth, where will the firmament be, where will the water be, where will this place be, and so forth and so on. So I said you might know that, imagine everything was heaped on each other, and God was bringing order to a chaotic, formless earth. It was without form and void. Then his spirit had to hover, he had to brood, and then he started bringing order. After he brought order to this, after he organized things, the next thing he started doing, he was filling it. He was filling it. He was filling the earth with things. We'll see it in verse 21. So God created the sea, the creatures. He started filling the earth that he has brought order to. He started filling it with things, with animals. Right? He started filling it with animals. So he put the firmament where it should be. He put the land where it should be. He put the waters where it should be. He put the plants, everything where they should be. The vegetation, spring forth, let them be on the land. Let them be vegetations on the sea. Let them be he brought order. Everything was formless, chaotic. He put order to it. So in being creative, right, the idea will come, but most times the idea comes with chaos. Everything is scattered. Just like God, when he was creating the earth, the first step you need to do is brood over it, think on this, and make your plans, and start putting structures, start putting order to the chaotic ideas that you have. And after putting order, the next you start feeling it. So okay, I can do this thing by this time, I can make this call by this time. Start filling it with the things that you need to do, just like God was doing. After he has written out the blueprints, after he has brought the organization to the list, he started putting it. So okay, I need a HR here, I need a manager here, I need this person to take on this work, I need this. Just fill it with the places. And then after he has done that, in verse 21, you see in between there, he brought structure and system to the world. See, all through creation, you see God was putting structure and system in place, right? In verse 11, let's read verse 11. It says, then God said, let the earth bring forth grass and herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth. And it was so. He brought in structure. The land was formless. He said, let fruits come up. And then he brought his system. Everything should produce according to its own kind. So he doesn't have to come down from heaven every first night to be planting trees. So there was a system for reproduction. After you have put ideas into place, you have stated the things that should be the way they should be. The next thing is to put in a working system and structure. You are a child of your father. If your father can do it, say, greater work shall you do. Right? So if God can put system and order into things, you too can do it. Right? Number one, I said you have to organize your ideas as a creative. Number two, you have to fill in your ideas with the right things. And then number three, you need to bring in systems, working systems and structures to those ideas that you have worked on. And then in verse 16 and 18, we see God set structure for light. He said, you rule over the day, you rule over the night, so that there will not be conflicts. That structure being put in place. So as a creative, right, a Christian creative, just like your father did, after putting ideas to place and you want to delegate, don't just say, let us do this. Point somebody and say, you take charge of this, you take charge of this. That is the best way, because imagine if God left the lights to just decide which one they will do. Probably the sun will be shining at night. You want to sleep and then the sun is shining through your window. Or the moon is during the daytime. You want to go somewhere and you are groping as if you are blind. So God had to put structures to things. That is the third step that you need to take as a creative, and especially as a Christian creative. And the fourth thing is purpose or job description. God gave commands to everything that he created or he made. Each creature knew what to do. Integration knew what to do. From day 4 to 6, he stopped naming things and gave Adam responsibility. In fact, let's read the account of creation for man. In verse 26, he said, Then God said, Let us make man in our image according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. God was giving job description to, God had purpose. He said they will have dominion. And then he gave a job description to man. Let him have dominion over the fish of the sea. He said, till the ground, cultivate the ground, have dominion, name all the animals. There was job for man to do. There's job description. So you don't just put structures in place without defining what they should do. Be like your father. Everything, there's something that even God did that amazed me when I was reading the account of the creation. It says that, and God saw this, and it was good. So there was evaluation and feedback. There was evaluation and feedback in everything. God will say, let the water be in this place. He will look at it, and it was good. He said, let the ground bring forth tree. And he looked at it, and it was good. That means God was taking time to evaluate what he did. He was taking time to evaluate his work. In chapter 2, it was in the evaluation that he saw that Adam was lonely. It was when he was evaluating the work he has done. He saw that Adam was lonely. I was like, no, it's not good for man to be alone. I will make him an helpmate. If God had just created everything and just went to heaven to rest, he would have not seen that Adam was lonely and that Adam needed an helpmate. As a creative, evaluation is very important. From time to time, after one step, take time, sit down, evaluate what you've done. How can I do this better? What can be done better? How can we make more progress? It's very important. If God can do it, know that it's very important for you to also do it, alright? God defines what is good. So as a creative, you have the vision. You know what you want for yourself. You must be the one to define what is good. You should define what success looks like for you. Don't allow the outsiders, don't allow societal standards to define what is good for you, right? Define it yourself. God looked at what he did and said, this is good. This match what I want. This is exactly the way I want it to be. He acted like an intelligent designer and defined what success looks like. So as a creative, especially as a young Christian adult who is a creative, you should be able to define what success looks like. You should be able to follow God's way of work. You are an embodiment of God's wisdom. Christ lives inside of you, so you cannot act below your father. You should define what you should follow as a creative. Anyways, I hope this spoke to you. I hope you find this video useful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share to your loved ones. Bye for now. I'll see you in my next video.